Okay, in the meantime, whilst we have this going on, I'd like to actually, next up, we have someone from the OPUS report that is going to come along and give you an explanation of what the European Commission is doing to help raise the awareness, not only here in Europe, but also worldwide, about, never leave it plugged in. I mean, like, that's 101, right? So, I would like to introduce to the stage, Bas, are you here? Bas? I'm guessing you didn't see the signs of not bringing the beers in. So, what we have today is Bas here from the European Commission that's going to give you an update. Do you want this? Is that what's happening here? Yeah. It's like, come on, come on. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is actually quite important in that they have 100 million to give away. It's amazing how money makes people shut up, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, please give it up from the OPUS report, Bas!
Does this one work? Does this one work? Yes, it does. This is even better.
No? No?
The presentation that I'm going to do is very fresh. The results of that I will have to look at some of the notes because I don't even know the full report myself yet. That's how recent it is. My name is Bas Kotterink. I'm from the Netherlands originally. I'm representing European Commission study on web entrepreneurship in Europe. While I'm logging into my device here. Now that has been the weirdest slot I've ever had, I must say, after this wonderful, you know, I've never seen them before, but I guess they must be really, really well known because I found them absolutely amazing quality. I don't know how you did, absolutely great. So I was going to come here this morning from Amsterdam, and I immediately, I mean, I must thank James for having me here, first of all. But I wasn't going to come almost, because around 7 o'clock or so in Amsterdam, just about 70 flights were cancelled because of the bad weather. So before me, I had my own KLM cancelling all the flights, Air France, you know, all these European countries. But I flew with Scandinavian Airlines, and I think it was the only one. So I'm already convinced about the Viking spirit. So you probably wonder why there is a European. I have to watch my time as well because James asked me to entertain, which is after this performance impossible. So the best thing I can entertain as a European study is to be short. So I'm going to be rather short. So why all of a sudden are we interested in, as a commission, in doing research and talking about web entrepreneurship, things that they normally don't get involved in too much? Well, I don't know. Quite a few of you will have been to the web, and they may have seen Commissioner Nelly Kroes. I hope she did a presentation. We even tried to get her on the startup bus, but she was ready to join, but unfortunately the bus only passed on the Sunday and it didn't work. But I think she was quite keen, would it have come along, and it was the Viking bus, not just any other bus, the Viking bus. Would it have come along through Paris through Brussels on Monday, she would have joined. So I don't know if people from Startup Bus are here and if they managed to. Yes, they are. Oh, big round of applause for that. We tried everything to get her on, and think then the next time she cannot say no. So, but in fact, she is one of the main drivers behind it. She's backing very hard an action plan called the Digital Agenda, which you all should know, which you are going to know pretty soon, which is going to drive, you know, the digital single market, the thing that they always talk about and that never comes. Now they finally found the real engine of this, because you all are already doing this. the web entrepreneurship, the whole ecosystem, this vibrant ecosystem that we have now, have witnessed tonight. And I congratulate all the excellent presentation, excellent startups that won their awards here. But finally, the world is paying attention, and it's clear that the engine of growth of this digital single market, of this big European ecosystem, is going to come from web entrepreneurs. So basically, you're already doing it, and that's fantastic. So on the study, I don't want to go into all the details now, but you see, some of the no, it's fine. While you chatter, I gather my notes. I warned you. One of the things that we have, the study is joining a series of studies actually with all kinds of nice initiatives. One of which, and he was already mentioned, Alex Farset, who actually already, he actually worked for the Commission to set up the European Tech All-Stars. He added the all to make it European, and it was a wonderful success. They traveled all over Europe and had quite a big impact in higher circles. So the Commission, Neelie Kroes, is talking a lot. I think she spent 2 weeks ago. She spent quite a number of hours with the people from Rovio, and I think she's having a lot of discussions these days with the people who matter and can really help her. So onto the study. The two parts of the study that we did is first take a snapshot of the European internet economy. Now that part is a numbers game. It's something that we have to look at, and it's not all very positive. So I start with the bad news first. So the four things, we didn't go into e-commerce, which is a little bit out of scope. We didn't research access or fixed and mobile services. We focused clearly on web services, so basically software services and content services. The main thing, and we all know, I think tonight we witnessed that the one thing that Europe does very well is content services. I mean, I saw a lot of content tonight, even just before me, and it's clear we have and the study demonstrated that, and the figures demonstrated that we have a clear stake in content services. Unfortunately, software and mobile is moving away from us to the US and Asia. So all the things that we need to do from now on is getting some of that back and becoming even bigger. So what we've seen is that in the figures, the access and software-based services are now only about 20 billion together. And it's quite small compared to e-commerce. It's quite small still compared to the entire EU internet industry, which is about 500 billion. But no, it's okay. But the good part is that wherever we look, the growth is really dramatic. From 2010 to 2011, we see everything growing. Revenues, numbers of services, diversity of services, all is on the up. And if we do conservative projections to 2020, we see even with the business as usual scenarios, we see a five-fold increase, and we see content services, the stuff that you're doing, and software-based services overtaking access-based service, which by then will all be mobile in the coming few years. So the business you're in is absolutely the future. You can applaud for that. If we look further ahead, and we spoke to many of you, we see a lot of other promising technologies. We all know about data analytics, artificial intelligence, all kinds of complex sensor technologies. All these technologies are actually there to further propel the reach of web services. So even these conservative estimates are going to be blown out of proportion if you add these other digital services and the physical services. So that too is a round of applause, absolutely. So behind all those big numbers lie very complex value creation mechanisms. And the reason, and the key reason why the Commission is doing these kinds of studies is to understand much better what you're doing. To understand the intricate value creation mechanisms that lie behind all your business propositions. And unfortunately, up till now, you move below the radar. So visibility events like this, heavily televised, even if I didn't know it, you know, is something that we really should be pushing. And the positive, yes. So, I mean, I'm going to skip a lot of the detail because, you know, I want to have my beer as well. So, which, by the way, in the Netherlands, they come from Germany to buy the beer. So if you come further down, this is where the cheapest. So I close on the main 3 points, and those are the things that you would need to take to heart. If you want to work further, if you want to say, as people said before, if you want to move the incredible talent that you have and move it to a global stage, which is something that we all need. It's fine if we take small trips to Silicon Valley, but we have to get the hell back as soon as we can. So I love Silicon Valley, but that's what we need. So we had 3 main problems, and the Commission is going to address these starting as early as the beginning of 2013. First, it's compared to the other geographies, primarily states, but also Asia, Europe is still starting way too few companies at the moment. This is a big problem. So you're doing it, please go and replicate. Not tonight, not tonight. The second point is there is a structural lack, and you all know it, of early stage and later stage funding. It's something that we all talk about, and finally, we're going to do something about it. The main thing we do is that, again, the web startups are not on the radar. You're not even a category on the regular economy. So we're going to make the web entrepreneurs and web businesses a separate category in venture capital. So it's something that can all help you later on. And the third and final point is, and that goes back to the Silicon Valley business, even relatively successful entrepreneurs, they still lack the critical mass to grow into global players. Now, if we see things like Spotify turning into an app platform and staying, at least having a base in the North or in Europe, that is the kind of things we need to push, because it's not good enough to start businesses. We also need to work together and build a platform that can really make a difference. So we want to create a future, not just for us, and I completely agree with the earlier speakers, but for the whole of Europe, because that'll work. Okay, I will close with that. So the good news is that all the issues that we found is something that are going to be taken care for the first time very seriously. So that's all we have time for tonight. Thank you very much for having me, and have a great evening.